discussion since this one lady posted a video, I can't find it, where she was complaining. She works in HR. She was complaining because her boss kind of like yelled at her because she's no longer allowed to like leave early every single day to go and like be with her child. And it sparked a big conversation around like mothers in the workplace. And I wanted to put my 2 cents in on this topic at the risk of pissing people off as usual. Before I make my point, I just want to say parents, they have the hardest job in the fucking world. I have the utmost respect for parents or people that are caring for children. It is such a fucking difficult job, which is why the decision to have kids, I think, is probably the most important decision that you will ever make in your entire life. With that being said, I do believe that childless people should have the exact same privileges in the workplace as people with children. And I stand by that 100% because it is a choice to have children. And I'm going to illustrate this in an example that happened all the fucking time at my old place of work. So let's say that my coworker Jenna and I have the exact same title. We are working the exact same position. Jenna has 2 kids. I have chosen to not have kids, 0 kids at this point in time, right? And Jenna gets to leave like 20, 30 minutes early all the time from work. Jenna gets an extra like work from home day, all of this stuff. And I am penalized when I ask for an extra work from home day. I am penalized for it. My supervisor declines the request. And I say, well, Jenna gets to do it. And then the reasoning is, well, Jenna has 2 kids. I'm sorry, but in this context, I don't give a fuck about Jenna's 2 kids.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know where you're working. I don't know what type of industry she's in. But yeah, I absolutely agree that that procedures should be consistent, regardless of whether you have a child or not. For some people, their dog is their child, and they would say, well, I have to pick up my dog from the doggy daycare or from the kennel or whatever it is. So you can always find a reason. I don't think that you make an exception for Jenna just because Jenna has a child. And to her point that raising a child is the most difficult thing, I don't know that I agree with that part. Having a child is, it's not always easy, but it's not always that difficult. You just have to be scheduled, structured, and make it a priority. But again, from a work standpoint, you have policies in place through HR that are fitting for everyone within the work organization, and it's not dependent on whether a person has a child or not. Now, you may have a manager, you may have a direct supervisor that at times that may make exceptions. Exceptions are sometimes made, and it doesn't always seem fair, but those exceptions are often made for the exceptional, not because they have a child, but because they are exceptional. If I have a person that constantly or consistently is 120% of target, well, I may make some exceptions for that person. They need to leave early, no problem. You still at 120% of goal? Oh, cool. If they need to come in a little late, no problem. You still at 130% of goal? Yeah, cool. So yeah, if a person is exceptional, we tend to maybe make some unique rules for them, right? We tend to make some exceptions for them if they're exceptional. So, but in her case, just having a baby doesn't make you exceptional, right? So we don't make rules just for that.
Jenna had a choice to have those kids. If Jenna is allowed to consistently show up late to work, then I should be able to do the exact same thing, regardless of how many children we have or the absence of children. Like, we should be able to have that same benefit, because I have a life too. Just because I don't have children right now doesn't mean I don't have a life. If Jenna has 3 days in office, 2 days remote because she has kids, then I should be entitled to the exact same thing, even if I don't have kids, right? Like, I shouldn't have to come in 4 days a week and then have 1 day remote because I don't have kids. I'm very anti, return to work in general, because it's been proven time and time again that people are equally, if not more, effective at their jobs from home. But there shouldn't be exceptions made on the basis of how many children people have, because I have a life too. Again, I said this before. I have a life too. If you are not able to care for your children and have a job at the same time, like, that's part of the decision-making process that you need to have with yourself and whoever it is that you are having a child with. If you are having a child with someone else, that's part of the decision-making process, is, can we support having kids and working? Can we do that? Maybe we should think more about how realistic it is for us to have kids right now. Part of the reason why I don't have kids right now is because I know for a fact I couldn't afford it. I can't afford to have a fucking babysitter right now. And so why am I, the person without kids, being punished and held to this like super high standard at work because I chose not to have kids? You know what I mean? Like, the same grace should be extended to me if I'm sick versus if Jenna has to leave early to pick up her child.
Yeah, again, I agree. Strictly on the basis of having a child or being a mother or being a father, I do agree that exceptions generally aren't made for that reason. You may have one-offs where a person needs to work from home a particular day, or they may need to come in a little late or leave a little early. But it's not a general rule that we're going to make an exception for a person strictly on the basis of them having a child. So yes, I agree with her. There should be grace provided to both, from the managerial perspective. Now, let me just say it one more time. Exceptions are made for exceptional people. Exceptions are made for exceptional people. So sometimes you may have a situation, or you may see a coworker or a manager that's providing an extra lunch for a person, or letting them work from home, or come in late, or leave early, or whatever it is. And your assumption is that it's because they have a child or there's some other reason. And that may not be the case. It may be strictly because that person is an exceptional performer. Again, if you're at 120%, 130% of target consistently, sure, I'll make an exception for you, right? I will make an exception for you. Now, if your numbers fall, things change. But as long as your numbers are high and you're killing it, yeah, we do it every single day. You talk to a leader, you talk to a manager, they'll tell you the person that's exceptional will make exceptions for them. So it may be not so much that they are a mom or dad. Maybe they're exceptional and you're not. Maybe you're average, and we don't make exceptions for average people. All right, let me hear your comments. Thanks for watching.